Good evening and welcome to episode 19 of Podcast for Dads. My name is Jay, aka HinduDad. We are joined this week by our co-host Bhav and Pankaj Koria. How are you boys?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
Very-
Good evening.
How's it going? What's the week been like? What have we been up to? Anyone?
Pankaj, go on.
Pretty busy. Yeah, busy week. Glad it's Easter now. Looking forward to a week off.
Yeah, have you got yourself a 4-day weekend?
I've got a full week off. I go back on the 12th of April. Very lucky.
What?
What does that even mean? What does annual leave
Yeah,
look
what
like?
is annual leave?
What does it mean? Someone out there explain to me, what does annual leave mean? Innit?
Do you know what I mean? I'm going to
I
have
don't
to ask
remember
Kev
those
about
days.
this annual leave stuff, boy.
Yeah,
Damn.
you might. Yeah, I think you should send him a little message. Be like, listen, mate, when am I taking my couple of weeks off?
How many days have I accrued over the past however many times?
Yeah, exactly. I'm still waiting for my paternity leave.
Bruv, he's going to turn around and be like, bruv, you've been on paternity leave for 6 months, fam. What are you on about?
That's it. There you go with it.
How you keeping, bruv?
Yeah, good man. Good. You
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad.
keeping
Like,
busy?
bro, I got a beef this week. Traffic is horrendous again. And we're not even out fully of lockdown.
No, I honestly do not understand what has been going on. Like, every day, look out the window, traffic's gaining. Today I had to actually leave my house, and I am not one to like traffic at the best of times. And today I was just like, what is this? Seriously. Like, road rage was just too much, man. I was like, please, just drive normally, and there's no traffic, man. Just drive normally, we'll be alright.
Yep.
But people in the way, people are like in the wrong lane, braking.
Everyone's in a rush.
So seriously, we're back to what it was like. These are the days I missed. I look back to last year, and I was like, there were no cars on the road. You'd have to go to the supermarket, be there with no cars bothering you the whole way there. So hopefully those days can come back with people just
Those days are
sit at
long gone,
home.
bro. Distant
Stay at
memories.
home, yeah. Well, sun's coming out, innit? So everyone wants to go and explore the world.
Yeah. Now, how about you, Pankaj? Have you found there's a lot more traffic around your way?
I've been quite lucky that I don't have to really go anywhere. And I live in kind of southwest London, so there's pretty much like countryside. So you don't see very many cars, and I don't have to drive anywhere. It's just working from home. So pretty
Living
lucky.
the dream, man. Living the dream.
Yeah. Lots of cyclists, but no cars. Not very many anyway.
Now you're starting a whole different conversation, bro. I don't know which ones I prefer, traffic or cyclists.
I don't
No
know,
comment.
man. I'm kind of like, taking a bit more of a sympathy towards cyclists over the last few months. But recently, I just went somewhere today. I don't know if you know, but near Pims Park in Edmonton, and the little tunnel, that little road where there's that tunnel that goes across the bridge. Sorry, that goes across the top of the road. Little shortcut from like 4th Street to go onto Victoria Road. Cyclists only, no cars allowed. There's cameras there and everything. So anyone watching, just be aware of that, because I nearly got trapped. And the gap is big enough for cars. And then they got the little sign at the top that says cyclists only.
They've set it
so
up. It's a
They've
setup.
set you up straight up, like just out there to get you. So I was like, nah, just pull the car around. Let's carry on the other way. So just be very careful of that if anyone's going around there.
Mate. Okay. So let's kick on to the first subject. Pankaj, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, family life, the family themselves.
Yeah, definitely. We've got my wife, Lena, and we've got 2 lovely boys, Jay, who's 5, and Milan, who is 3.5. We call him our three-nager because he is very much a grown-up little child, very decisive. I'm sure you know what I mean.
Not yet, but
Not
I'm being
really.
told about it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, we live in Addlestone, so just outside of London. I work as a chemical engineer for a company called GlaxoSmithKline, so very much into supplying medicines. And my wife works in St. Peter's Hospital around the corner in Chertsey, so very much into healthcare and well-being, really. And that's us.
And so when you guys, obviously, when your kids arrived, like, you were in a completely different situation to what parents today are experiencing. Is there anything that you remember from like going out to like the first baby scan or any of the prenatal, postnatal classes?
I think one thing that I kind of was maybe different, but I felt comfortable with was it was the equal partnership. I think traditionally the kind of the mother does a lot of stuff by herself,
Hmm.
but I saw more and more men kind of taking part in being part of the early stage of pregnancy, taking an interest, trying to learn a little bit more. I remember myself, I had an app from Baby Center. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but it tells dads what is going on with the mother, and also when the baby arrives, what kind of things you'll see, because the mother's too tired to tell you what
Yep.
happened today. And so this is your way of knowing what's going on without having to, bother them with all that extra questioning, right?
Yeah, for
Which
you.
is really
So
good.
for you, I take it. Obviously, you were having to go into work after your 2 weeks of paternity daily, so you were only seeing the kids for a fraction of the time that we've been getting the chance to spend with our kids over the last 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I used to travel quite a lot, so at least like 2 weeks out of the month internationally. So I wouldn't really get to spend as much time with my child and children as much as I'd like to. And so, certainly the lockdown has been very good for me because I've not been traveling. It's a global ban. It's the only time you can not
It's
travel.
the only excuse you've got
So
right now, isn't it?
got to know my kids a little bit better and spend time. But certainly the early days were quite difficult to juggle being away from home, trying to support the kids. There's only so much you can do over FaceTime and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a difficult time, but certainly right now it seems to be a blessing for me.
I guess one thing that I want to ask you, yeah, is like, so prior to lockdown, like we used to do a bit of traveling. If I was fortunate enough to go out of country, it's great, but a lot of it was in and around the UK. Um, I can imagine if I was in that position today and we've got our child Jaden, and my wife will just turn around and be like, "You're not going for that long. I need you here. Like, I need the support, whatever it might be." But in your perspective, and from your own experience, what's it like for you having to leave for such a period of time or go such a distance, and the kids are such a young age, or like when you had your first child, and with Lena needing the additional support? Like, how did you guys manage that?
So it was difficult, but I think one of the things that has kind of kept us going through it is, Lida works in a hospital and she knows what it means to not have medicines for patients. If they don't get the medicines, then potentially they could die, right, or have really
Hmm.
poor quality of life. And so, when I'm going to travel, I'm actually working on supply of medicines that might be out of stock, or
Hmm.
a product that is not available, or a new product launch for people who may be suffering from something that they can't get from today. So sometimes it was actually the opposite. She was saying to me, "This product's out of stock. What are you doing to try and fix it? My patients need this stuff. We can't do alternatives." So in some ways, maybe a bit of healthy banter. It's difficult, but sense of duty really comes to fore. That we're in these roles because we have a duty of care,
Yep.
and that's kind of helped us to get through some of the difficult times where I had to travel more than maybe I'd like to. And also, I got her a cat. Don't underestimate the value of animals. Yeah, I think the cat was definitely quite welcome most of the time.
So it's a welcome change. And then, what was it like for you being away from the kids for a period of time? Like, I know, like, women probably think we leave the house and our brain switches off, we forget we have a child, and then we'll come back 8 hours later. It's like, oh wow, here he is. It's not right, that. Do you know what I mean? And I think what I'm trying to get at is to explain a perspective of our own, to say, although we're
Yeah.
away, although we've got all these things going on, um, it's not like we forget that we've got kids at home.
Yeah, it was rubbish actually, especially when I had the first one. You really want to be there every day. They're changing so much, and you kind of think, "Oh, am I going to miss their first word, or am I going to miss a specific moment?" And I can't reverse time. But there's a silver lining on everything. Whenever I used to go away, it would be the best sleep ever, because when I was at home, you don't get any sleep. My first child actually slept for 4 months. I mean, it was a blessing, right? I thought, this is easy. What's everyone complaining about? And the second one didn't sleep for 11 months. Milan was literally
Jesus.
a nightmare. So literally, the best thing about traveling was you can actually sleep for more than 3 hours. But don't tell the missus. She doesn't know about this fact. Damn, she's listening, isn't she?
Yeah, mate, you've
Well, I was
already put
gonna
your foot
say
in it.
too late now.
And then, like, obviously coming back when you've been away for such a period of time, did you come back and find that she's got a whole task load of things for you to do, or like, you know, it's your turn to spend time with the little one now, this is what I want you and need you to do?
Yeah, I think certainly it wasn't even a list. It was here you go. I'm off. I guess they need a break as well as much as we do.
Yep.
And so certainly I did my fair share of nappies and spending time with the kids. I remember doing taking the kids out just so that she can have a break, because I don't know what other people are like, but my wife's quite passionate about what she does with the kids, so she won't even take a break. I'd have to separate her from the kids so that she could actually have a break. So certainly, yeah, I did my fair share, but I was looking forward to it. I think I certainly want to be an active dad, very much like you guys.
Do you find that that's had an impact on the way that your relationship is with, like, your children, the first child more so than the second, because he's a bit older, you've had a bit more experience with him, but
yeah, maybe more so recently. Like I said, when I was traveling, it was a bit more difficult. They'd see their dad on the other side of a phone. But now, we're really close. I know what's going on with them. I even know what their routines were. I remember Lena used to write down the routines for me, so I knew what I had to do when she left me alone. Whereas now I know all the routines, and so it makes it a bit easier to.
Do you know what the worst thing that I find is? Every now and again, every couple of weeks, obviously, where they're growing so much at this young age, Reshma will reorganize his wardrobes. So every 3 weeks, it's in a different state. And then every 3 weeks, you're looking for like a baby grow to put him in at night, or a bib or something. And you're searching all the drawers left, right, and center and thinking, why does it need to change place? Like, if we've got an allocated thing, bibs, baby grows, why can't we just stick to that format? But no, I completely sympathize with what you're saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't find things now.
So how's the lockdown been for you over the last it's been 12 months now, right, since we went into it. So how's it been for you? Obviously, look, working from home, seeing the kids literally 24 hours a day now, being at home with the missus. Obviously, she works in a hospital, so I take it Lena was out for especially at the start, quite a lot of it, working, etc. While you were at home with the kids. So how was that experience for you?
I guess overall for me it was better because I wasn't traveling. The kids were actually in nursery at the time. They didn't stay at home because the hospital nursery actually stayed open. So everything else in the world was closed, but the hospital's nursery and their children were all in. So we were lucky for majority of the lockdown for that. I think the difficult part, which many people may not be able to understand or resonate, is Lena had a really difficult time. The hospital, all of them, shout out to all the key emergency workers, key workers. It must have been really difficult. So I remember her just coming home and being so tired, and then having to go again. I think some days she got called in on the weekends, and it was really difficult for them to kind of manage what was a very difficult situation. No one had a script. It was just each day. You could see she was drained. We had a full kind of changeover procedure because I didn't want to catch COVID-19 or pass it on to the kids. And
I was going to say, you guys must have had like some reservations, especially with her going into that kind of climate on a daily basis. That must have been scary enough as it was for you, let alone knowing that she's going there or putting the kids in an environment close to that as well, and then coming back with them, right?
Yeah, it was really scary. You think, well, you saw the stories about not having proper PPE in some cases and things like that. Those are very much real. Imagine you're going into battle, but you haven't got the right gear. So actually, go. I'm not going to give you a gun. Just use your fists. You're probably not going to feel that confident, right? And I think
absolutely.
I don't know fully how it was there, but certainly when I hear stuff like that. Seeing some of the challenges around people being on their own without their family around them, that must have been difficult to witness. So I can imagine that has its toll, really.
So obviously like that, what do you kind of do in your spare time? What's your kind of hobbies and stuff like?
So I've got quite a lot of hobbies. I think first and foremost, I'm quite a spiritual person. So kind of Hinduism is a big part of my life. So I do a lot of meditation, prayer, kind of reading. I'm a volunteer at the Swaminarayan Mandir in Easton. So try and spend my time kind of doing kind of voluntary work, charitable work for the benefit of others.
Giving back.
Outside it, yeah, really, and actually, it's more satisfying than the day job. Really, I enjoy what I do, but when you're giving back, there's a sense of happiness which all volunteers know and feel.
Mm-hmm. And so with like volunteering and things like that, how did you even, is it something that you've always done for quite some time, and like you've been grown, I don't want to say you've been raised like that, but is it something that you grew up doing? Do you know what I mean?
We were from a very religious kind of background family. Some parents are religious, and so we did our own thing at home, but didn't really kind of get too involved in the temple or anything like that until I was kind of a teenager. Really, that was when it kind of really started to. So I know the kind of what it's like without and with, and so for me, I think knowing just how much benefit I get from the temple and how much my children get benefit and family, it makes a big difference for me actually.
So has it been quite difficult with the Monday being closed then? Like, would you say that prior to lockdown, you would have been like once a week or like once a month or?
Yeah, I used to go like once a month. Again, when I'm not traveling, I'd go. They do have like, regular gatherings every week for different age groups of people. I think one of the benefits really has been during the lockdown, you can see the power of community. So the Swaminarayan Mandir have like daily video casts on YouTube where you can do your daily aarti together with your family. They have they had a connect and care program. So my dad was on his own in Birmingham. He could watch and get his spiritual uptake without going anywhere or putting himself at risk. And they even had like a tiffin service, so you literally had food dropped off to his house or shopping if he needed it, and the community was there. And it wasn't just available if you're part of the temple, it was for anybody who needed something at that moment in time. So certainly feel quite kind of happy. There's also a lot of people who don't understand what Boris Johnson or anybody is saying and what the clear guidelines are. So the temple actually, after the weekly kind of after the daily session, they have an announcement which the head priest does and actually explains what people should be doing so that people don't accidentally break the rules, or if they hear some myths around whether you should get vaccinated or not, they can explain what the real thing is so that people don't miss out or do the wrong thing really. So it's been a real go-to place for me. I know a lot of people who are not so kind of strictly religious. They have like a timeless Hinduism wisdom series, which is like around general Hinduism, which people have found really helpful. So general topics around kind of forgiveness, contentment, all that kind of stuff. People that just want something to get them through the day, really. So lots to be grateful for there.
Well, like some of the things that you've mentioned, like my father-in-law and mother-in-law are practicing, and they go to Neasden Temple on a regular basis. My father-in-law is a volunteer there for like Tuesday night security as well. So I've been exposed to I'd say an amount of things that the temple has put as outputs and deliverables, and I think it's fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you say, the fact is there was so much misinformation, so much people giving like guidance which is completely inaccurate, and for the Mandir to take it upon themselves to add that to part of their daily ritual is great, because it means that there was someone speaking to them who they had mutual respect for, that understood what was going on and was able to break it down to them in a way that was comprehensible for them. Do you know what I mean? And the fact is, as you say, it's not just being streamed for UK, and it's not just people in the UK that watch it. No, I've seen some of the comments that go on the YouTube videos, and they're people worldwide. Do you know what I mean? Like people in America, people in Australia, and all over the world that will tune in and do their aarti at the same time. And so it is quite welcoming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's all on demand as well. So if you're like somebody who wants to watch something but you just haven't had the time, you can just go back and watch anything you particularly like. My dad particularly loves a specific series, so he'll just watch it over and over. And imagine you're on your own at home, you got nothing else. It
can
to do.
get tedious and boring, can't it?
Yeah. So he's got something to keep him occupied that's maybe productive as well.
I guess it would have been such a like something that put your mind at ease as well. Like you say, the tiffin service that they provided as well, that he was able to be catered for at a point where it was not feasible for you to go and see him every other week.
Yeah, absolutely. I live 120 miles away, and so it's not possible. But knowing that there is something available for him is, the best feeling in the world.
And in terms
definitely.
of like the religious side for yourself, have you got your kids kind of following in that footstep, or are they at that kind of age now? More the older one, because he's 5 now, right? More to be intrigued and asking those questions, because I think we've had this before in the past where we were like, there's going to be that age where our kids come up to us and say, why are we doing this, or why are we doing that, or what's are you getting to that stage now where you're getting asked that question, why?
To a little bit. I think we try and keep it quite practical, and maybe because there's obviously a big difference between tradition and religion, and sometimes getting people kind of try and mix the both. I think for us, we try and practically help them to know what's good and not good, and not try and force too much on them. So like when we're doing our puja in the morning, they might come and like take part in something or hold a mara or something like that. But we won't be kind of forcing them to do it too early. I think Jay probably in the next year or so maybe will be more self-sufficient, but certainly kind of Milan's quite curious. They do the aarti with us, but sometimes they're just running around the living room while we're doing the aarti. It's all
So one thing that I picked
as
up on there is that you said with us. So does that mean that you and your wife will like do the puja together, or like would you do your own puja and your wife do hers?
So we have separate pujas, but like when we're doing them, like the kids will kind of interact. But the aarti we do every day at 7 o'clock, and that's done as a family. So one person rings the bell. Milan loves being the bell ringer, and Jay likes fire, so he helps me with the aarti.
Okay. As I say, like, to be fair, you're one of the only people out of the few Asian people that we've had come on the show that has actively done pujas themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you put me and Bhav in front of the aarti, like, I'm pretty sure we can hold it and spin it around, but knowing the words to the pujas and things like that is beyond me.
Listen, you're underestimating me.
Is it? Have I got it wrong? Are you quite well versed?
You're really underestimating me here, man.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
Well, yeah, but you've never discussed it. That's why.
Oh, yeah, but I've never been asked the question, right?
Let's go, Bob.
I'm quite good, man.
Is it?
Yeah, man. Honestly, every morning in the Monday, doing Devo Agarbati every morning, without fail.
But I guess like the question that I have, like obviously, it's not that difficult for us to go in, do the Agarbati and like bless ourselves. But the question is would you do a full-on puja, or like would you like speak the words to a mantra or anything like that?
If I know the words, then yeah.
But I'm saying you wouldn't like. This is a daily ritual for you, but are you the kind of person that would? Bhav's undercover.
See, baiting you out, bro. She knows. She knows.
Tell us. We want to know.
She knows. Like I'm not. I wouldn't say like I'm not going to say I'm the most religious person in the world, and
But this is why I ask, because we've always both took the stance that we're quite laid back as like Gujaratis. We don't necessarily practice the religion to the letter of the law, and like
Yeah, and to be honest, like I'm not going to say I'm an expert in it. I'm not going to say I know everything about our religion, or I'm not going to say, yeah, he knows the aarti. Yeah, I know the Hanuman Chalisa off by heart. There's things that I know very well. But that's come down to like my ba used to live with us. And you pick those things up where you're in that environment, and you just like it's something where you just follow what's happening. Like now Caleb will, if my mom's doing something or she's in the mandir or she's doing something, he'll follow her in there and be really she can't hear me. He'll be really intrigued to know what's going on. What's the situation, what's going on with people, why are they doing this, and he'll be there watching, and his eyes are glued to see and that's how you pick things up as you go along, right, when you're that age. But that's why I asked, like, are your kids involved on a day-to-day basis with what you guys do? Because sooner or later we're waiting. I'm definitely waiting for those questions to start coming. Oh, Dad, why do we do this? Or Mum, why do we do this? What's the reason behind it? And they will come sooner or later, because these kids these days are very, very we were when we were growing up, but they're definitely more
They're
intrigued. Than we
twice
were.
as astute.
100%. Like I've seen it already. Like the things Caleb wants to do and tries to do and wants to kind of even the words aren't coming out yet, but you can tell by his reaction and the way he's behaving that he wants to know what's going on, and he's really just like he's just intrigued to know like why are these guys doing all this? What's the reason behind it? And you know, I'm sure it will come in the next few years. All those questions, which hopefully we'll find most of the answers for by then.
So, Pankaj, would you, not would you, but do you send the kids to like Gujarati school or anything like that? Then
They're a bit too young at the moment to go to those types of classes, but I have kind of showed them some of the Gujarati words. Kind of the Swamran temple have actually got like an award-winning kind of Gujarati class, which I learned like Gujarati in 13 hours, which is the masterclass plus version. So if you can learn
hours.
13 hours version, it's really good. Even I could learn it, and I'm not very good. My Gujarati is not very good either when I speak, but I can read a little bit as well. But work in progress. But yeah, certainly the kids will start that probably in the next couple of years. But they do have all sorts of things. I think right now, like just to keep the kids from being bored, they've got like an online chess tournament on chess.com. So you imagine like kids are like missing their friends and family, and they'll just do a tournament and people will be engaged, learn a new skill and be productive and keep stimulated. So I think Gujarati will probably be, like I said, probably when they're a couple of years older when they go to the class.
Sorry, I just had a message offline from Tom, so I got distracted. But
is he not watching the show?
He is, and he asked the question, but I don't think it's suitable for us to ask on air.
He's coming out.
But I got your message, Tom.
He's got a lot of questions these days.
He's continuing. He's laughing at you now. It's something about you, Bob.
Tell him to ring me after the show.
We can send him a link. He'll jump on.
Yeah, well, that's true. Actually. No, don't send it to him. We don't need him on the show this week. We'll call you back. We'll call you back next week, Tom.
I want to like gauge what caught your interest in the cultures like at a young age, and like what kept you in tune with it. Like you say, it's something that you find spiritually that works for you. It's part of your day-to-day life. And I just kind of, I guess I'm intrigued by at what stage you kind of went from, okay, I do this because mum and dad do it and this is what we do, to, okay, I get it and I want to push this forward.
Yeah, so I think that my mom and dad were very spiritual. My mom in particular, she was very much into spirituality. So she got us doing meditation from a very young age. Just to give you a bit of context, there's 4 of us under 4. So like my big brother Rajesh Bhai, he's probably tuning in today just to support. He is the eldest, and then my sister is kind of 1 year older than me, and then I've got a twin brother as well. So Rajesh Bhai, yeah. So 4 of us under 4. So imagine bringing up 4 children under 4. God knows how they managed to do that. Hats off to them. And then my mom was actually a kidney patient, so she had an illness to deal with as well for most of her life. So we had to grow up pretty fast. But I think religion kept us kind of grounded, but also kind of doing the right thing, having good morals and things like that. I think initially when we started to go to the mandir, it was all about fun and running around and playing games. It wasn't around religion. We weren't really that interested. I remember asking the question when I was really young, who's this blue person, for Krishna Bhagwan and stuff like that. But certainly there was a point when we were starting to get the benefits of it. I think for me personally, it was when I was around 11 or 12, 13 years old, when I could see the benefits of it. So it was almost like, come on, everyone, get ready. We have to go to the mandir. And we were quite active then. We used to sing bhajans and do folk dances and really take part in the Hindu culture that we have. And that's probably when it turned. And I guess the true test was when I graduated and moved to London from Birmingham, because I could do anything I wanted. I literally could have gone anywhere, and no one there to watch me. And I decided to continue being religious and going to the temple and following the practices. So certainly that's been that's been my journey so far.
And then, like, I suppose, like, the other half of this is, you know, normally you'll find one person in a relationship who could be quite spiritual and quite, you know, forthgoing, but then the other person in the relationship isn't. And do you find that balance with you and your partner? Is your partner someone that you met at the Mandir, or?
Yeah, I knew Lena through the Mandir, so I used to know her brother, and then we met through kind of the family that we knew. They were nearby as well. I think for me, I think this is maybe a misconception around, you know, kind of active and not active. Spirituality is a very inner thing. Someone on the outside could be doing all this stuff, but not really be spiritual or have not good intent. Or you could be an inner quiet religious person, but actually equally following your dharma. I remember I would consider myself a lot more active than my wife, 100%, right? But you know, I remember she did one of the something exams and she got 84%. I'm thinking, hold on, what's going on here?
She knows more than she's letting on.
Yeah, I'm thinking either you're reading the books whenever I'm traveling, which I doubt, with Kim Kardashian on TV and whatever. But certainly, I was thinking, well, if you're spiritual, then you're spiritual, and you may choose to practice it in different ways. Not everyone has the same way of expressing it. I think one of the principles in Hinduism is around not having kind of impure thoughts towards other people. So if you imagine I'm going around saying, well, you're not doing this, this, and this, that's worse. It's called a bhavagun. Then actually having good thoughts towards someone, that's actually much more positive than anything else. So I'd say I wouldn't want to judge anyone. Everyone's an individual on this, but certainly we do practice differently.
For sure. I mean, and then with spirituality, with religion, that's also led you into health and well-being, right? So tell us a little bit more about what you're currently up to in the health and well-being sector.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. You know, we went through the COVID pandemic, and what we were starting to see. So, you know, I work in supply of medicines and healthcare. Lena works in the hospital, and we're starting to see that people really weren't knowing what to do in terms of the theme of self-care. You know, looking after themselves, and we were getting people ask us about different things, asking for advice, asking for different things that work for us or that we were seeing. So we thought, well, why don't we do something about it? And so kind of towards the end of last year, when things started calming down a bit, my wife had the idea to kind of maybe set up a business as a hobby. We called it the Happiness Apothecary company. And really the idea behind this business is to raise awareness of how people can do self-care for themselves, whether it's getting better sleep or being stressed less. You know, someone might be recovering from kind of chemotherapy. There's things you can be doing for that. So you developed all these self-care packages together with her knowledge of kind of self-care and seeing that firsthand in a hospital, and my ability to understand, you know, supplying medicines of quality, and, you know, really we're evidence-based. So the only products we're really looking at are things that have evidence-based to boost your mood or make you feel better. And people want self-care, but they don't want to do all the research. So I thought, why don't we give that to people? And that can be a way of giving back, and also a way of you know, making people feel that much better. So that's what we're doing. We went live in January of this year in our company together, and we're very much getting started. Say that again.
How's your first quarter been?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. I never thought, if you told me in 3 months' time you're going to be on HinduDads talking about a new business venture, and certainly you've helped a few people already. You know, certainly we've run a few workshops around better sleep, which was really good because we tried it out on ourselves first, and I've never slept better. So certainly I'll advocate those who may be struggling with sleep, maybe have a look at our website or get in touch, and we'll certainly do our best to help you. It could be having a better start. It could be having a better mood. You might be stressed because you've got young children. If you're a new mom or a new dad, there's a package for that. Yeah, lots to think about, but yeah, lots more to come. We're really just getting warmed up.
Nice. Mr. B.
That sounds quite good, actually. No, that sounds quite good. Like, you know, just the sleep one got me, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that gets me every time. I'm telling you, man. I was like, yeah.
How can I sleep, bro? You sleep well enough as it is.
But to be fair, right? I'll be honest with you. To be fair, I don't really have trouble sleeping, man. Touch wood, man. I'm alright. Touch wood. I'm good, man. That's one thing I can do. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. I can fall asleep. It's a good nap to have, man. I'm
Good
telling you,
days.
it works well. It works well because like sometimes when you wake up early, and on that rare occasion, okay, thank you, Jay. I see those eyes watching me. Yeah,
I'm
on
not
that rare
saying anything, bro.
yeah, but I can see it.
Honestly.
I just felt the vibe from you coming. On those days, I do get up early, and I do.
What do you class as an early morning?
No comment, right? But you know what I mean, right?
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier than usual, and especially on weekends. Like I'll try and get up as early as possible, especially now, right, with the little one. Because if he gets up about 6:30, 7, I want to be up and like active with him, and then I'll try and like take a nap when he takes a nap. And honestly, it's like the best thing in the world. Like those are the ones I tell people. Those are the times to get those naps in. Little one sleeps. Take a little hour to sleep as well. It works wonders. But look, obviously, look. I've looked at the website, looked at your Instagram page and stuff, seen the stuff you guys have been coming out with. It's very intriguing to see that there are kind of things out there which people can use to, help their lifestyle get a lot better. And in the day and age we're in now, what else kind of
I was going to say, like, self-care and wellness and health and well-being in itself is a market that is kind of booming right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, where people have had so much more time with themselves and they've been saving money by not going out and doing what they were doing previously. Like, people are starting to realize that they've got to take better care of themselves, and it does start with themselves at home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a lot of people that approach you for advice first before they buy the products and packages, or how does it all work? Do they just go online and purchase things, or?
Yeah, typically people will reach out because they've got a specific need. So I think that's the way in which we kind of provide a bit of consultation. I guess some people will just go direct and say, I know exactly what I want, but many people know that they need something but not really sure where to start, and that's why kind of we do have a little bit of consultation. We do run events as well. We've run an event recently where people can try out some of the routines and say, this is what works for me, this is what doesn't work, because it's not like a one size fits all, and certainly we try and support people to the best of knowledge we have.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Are they set packages or are they bespoke for each individual? Because obviously, look, everyone's different. So, do you kind of make it bespoke for them, or is it kind of just set in? If you're struggling with X, Y, and Z, then this will help you. Or if you want to better yourself in X, Y, and Z, this will help you there.
Yeah, I mean, typically at the moment we've put together packages which are like the best combination in general for that particular topic. So that's really people could just ready buy, but there obviously everyone has slightly different needs. So we're not offering bespoke right now, but if people do reach out to us, we can recommend maybe something more bespoke. So if you have specific skin conditions or something, or have specific needs, either we'll tell you what we know or we'll tell you where to go, because they're specialists in healthcare for a reason. We're not qualified to kind of advise on everything, but we do know where to point you between me and my partner.
So we've got a question in the comments section from RT Koria. I believe she's one of yours, but she's asking what your daily routine is.
Okay, thank you, Arti. She's my cousin. She lives in Hounslow. Shout out to you. I knew you'd ask
Shout out to the Hounslow Massive.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess my daily routine is not so routine these days, but essentially I'll wake up in the morning, obviously do the usual kind of getting ready, have a shower, etc., etc. Then I'll do my puja in the morning and do my meditation and kind of set myself up for the day. I'll sometimes get the kids ready before they go to school and nursery, support my wife with that. Then I'll come down and have some breakfast. I'm very lucky that I don't have to drive 1 hour each way to work anymore to West London. And so I'll kind of have a good break in terms of breakfast. Sometimes I'll do a bit of exercise in the morning. Then I tend to work 9 to 5. But the good news is that because we're in a remote working environment, I rarely work in the evening now. It's kind of finished. Kids come home. Sometimes I'll pick them up if the missus is working the late shift. And then we'll have dinner together. We'll do aarti together. We'll put them to sleep. etc., etc. And then the evening is really a wild card. Either we'll watch a movie, or we'll read, or we'll just have a chat, or sometimes we'll just go to sleep because we're exhausted. There's kind of
I was going to say, like,
sometimes the
what do
best
you?
option, right?
Yes, that was one of the questions I was going to ask. What do you do with any of the spare time that you get? But it seems like you've got quite a packed day.
Yeah, there isn't really much spare time, but yeah, certainly we do like to try and read a little bit more. One of the things we were talking about with people with sleep is, and you all know this, so we're not telling you anything you don't know, but if you're using your screen before you go to bed, that's going to impact your
Mhm.
ability. And I don't care what companies come up with, what light, it's all going to impact you, and there's science around that. So if you want better sleep, just turn off your phone and pick up a book.
Yeah.
And yes, you can use Headspace or Calm, that's a good use. But if you're watching television and you're done trying to go to sleep, just try it. Just try it for a week, and you'll see the difference. I won't even need to convince you. You'll see already that there's a correlation between the two. Relaxing. You need to set your mind to go to sleep, so you can't just switch it off like this. You've got to give yourself a routine. Sometimes a night tea can help, but some people aren't tea drinkers. There's quite a lot of things you can do. That's
So there's another
generally my
question
routine.
that's come through as well. Sorry again to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but what advice do you have for light sleepers?
Oh, that's a very good question. I'll probably have to defer to my wife. I knew she should have joined me today. I think so. I think generally, in principle, there are a number of factors that can impact the quality of your sleep. So, if you're a light sleeper, there could be a number of reasons why you have light sleep. So, I guess generally speaking, it's because if you're a light sleeper, it's because any noise can wake you up, or the environment you've got doesn't allow you to sleep deeply enough. So, whether you've got the right temperature in the room, whether you've got blackout blinds, you've got too much light coming in, or you've got too much noise. So maybe have a think about what's causing you to wake up as a light sleeper. One product that we researched was a product called Space Masks. I don't know if you've heard of Space Masks. Sounds a bit funky and out there, but it's basically a mask that warms itself up, and it helps you just to calm down and go to sleep. And that worked for a few people. Certainly when I tried it out, I really enjoyed that. And I'd never even heard of Space Masks before. Really,
Did you
really
not
good
find
product.
that having a slightly warmer face was something that kept you awake, though?
No, it's really soothing. So there's certain, obviously, kind of things like lavender, etc., that will naturally be natural stimulants for sleep. So certainly some things like that could help. But I'd like to think if it's something like that, then that might help. Otherwise, maybe time to go and see a sleep expert if it's related to any of your deeper sleep issues.
I hope that has answered your question, Digital Princess. Right, okay, I'm aware that we're running out of time. I wanted to run through some quick fire questions with you, Pankaj. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, and Barv, I'm going to flip it to you to go for the first question, bro.
All right, let's go. Let's think of this one. Let's think of a good one. So
I thought he was ready. Sorry, man.
No, I am. I'm sorry. How many children did you want when you were growing up?
So I'm one of four under four, right? So four. So I was thinking I was going to end up with 4 kids, and I told people, "Hey, 4 kids sounds awesome." I've got 2 kids now. I'm thinking 2 kids is awesome. So I think two kids is probably where we'll land at. I don't think I can cope with anymore, especially as they're out of nappies now. Anyone who knows that feeling knows you never want to go back to that, or it would take someone brave to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we're the unconverted at the moment.
Yeah, we're waiting for that day.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of scared what happens in that interim period of nappies to like pull-ups.
No comment. You'll find out. When you get there, I'd love to hear back from you.
Right, you know what? We got carpet all over the house, so that's one thing I'm dreading. Right, if it's flooring in it's a bit easier. It's true. Flooring makes life a bit easier, But yeah,
as in wooden floor, it's easier to clean. Is what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so next question. What is the best job you've ever had?
So without a question, my first job, so when I first joined GlaxoSmithKline, it was making toothpaste. So I used to be the chief engineer for a product called Sensodyne. I don't know if you heard of that. But I've been quite privileged to develop that platform. And I used to go in the lab and make anything I liked. I could make orange flavored toothpaste, flavored toothpaste. I even made chocolate toothpaste. Doesn't fit on any brand, but literally the best feeling in the world is being able to go in the lab and make whatever you want. I could have made hairspray. I remember doing a trial. So I used to be in the Weybridge branch, and I was looking at texture. And I bought like premium lipstick, which cost the absolute fortune. But back then, when I was single, I didn't understand why anyone would pay 40 quid for lipstick. But now I'm understanding a little bit more.
Even
Still
now
don't
we're
get
married,
it.
we still don't understand why they spend 40 quid on lipstick.
Yeah, I don't get it now,
100%.
but I remember doing that trial. I went to the supermarket and bought all the lipstick that I had, like anything that was expensive, tested the texture. As soon as the study was over, all the lipstick was gone. And I was thinking, what's going on here? And I made loads of friends that way, because they're like, once you give people £40 lipstick, suddenly everything else is...
Everyone likes you.
yeah, everyone's your best friend somehow. Oh, I'll buy you lunch. Of course you will. I gave you 40 quid lipstick.
Yeah,
Yeah, you owe me lunch for the next 4 weeks.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Hands down, the best job I've ever had. Great fun. A minty fresh breath and lots of toothpaste in my bathroom for that lasts forever.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any kids experiments for toothpaste then, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, launched Aquafresh for kids, and also we did Sensodyne Pronamel for kids as well. So those are 2 products I worked on. So 14 different flavors I got to test, and we launched one. The other ones are bloody awesome as well.
So are they hiding somewhere and they might come out in the near future then?
Well, there's clinical data on all of them, but it depends on whether commercial thing, bubblegum flavor, is what kids should be taking, or whether they think, or whether
It's all
mint
the
is really
politics,
going to be
isn't
the
it?
winner, right?
Chocolate
It's all the
flavor.
politics and whether they'll sign it off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about commercial insight.
What talent do you wish you had that has eluded you?
Bigoted.
This one, I guess one thing I definitely can't do, and everyone who knows me will vouch for this, is I cannot dance for my life. But I do love music, right? So I think if I had a special skill, I think it might be being able to dance, because I really just cannot. I've got 2 left feet, and yeah, that's probably one thing. Okay.
She's saying you can dance. She's dropping you in it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I
Yeah.
say the same thing. I'm a really bad dancer, and then when it comes to dancing in front of kids, you just let go of all shame, innit? That's what she's talking about. That point when you've let go of all shame. And what's the next one, Bob? I think we should go for 2 more.
Are you for you or me? Who's going next?
No.
I thought you're going next. You want me to go next?
I got one. You catch the next. You catch the last question. Yeah.
All
What
right,
is
go on.
one underrated but important life skill a person should possess?
Life skill. It's a very good question, actually. I don't know. What is a life skill everyone should have? I think for me, I don't know whether you call it a life skill or something else, but one thing I found constant is being able to meditate is just the best thing. Whether you're in a stressful situation like I've been, or whether you're working long hours, one thing that's always brought some calmness to me that everybody needs is just the ability to switch off. And some people don't like doing the religious part of meditation, but meditation is meditation. Like, there's one app I would recommend to my staff, which is called 1 Moment Meditation. I don't know if you've heard of it, but you can meditate for 1 minute and it'll make you feel awesome just after 1 minute. So I think if there's any skill I'd want to pass on to anybody, I think just meditation. It's the best thing. There's no downsides, there's only upsides. So that's one thing I'd probably go for.
I'll take that.
All right, final question. When do you feel the happiest?
Very good question. I guess my happiest moments are when I'm doing something for someone else, so selflessly. So like when I've been volunteering, certainly like when I'm working with other people, I feel like I've added some value to somebody else. That really makes me feel happy. That I've done my bit. I think that's really the nuts of who I am, and also what I'm doing right now in my job. It's not coincidence that I've got a healthcare family and that I'm doing volunteering. I think there's a sense of happiness there that I get from that.
I can appreciate that. So I wanted to say thank you very much for joining and sharing this time with us. Before we let you go, I want you to tell people where they can find you or your company.
So we're on Instagram, so Happiness Apothecary Co. But our website is thehappinessapothecary.co.uk. So you can visit our website. You can get in touch with us. If you type it into Google, you should be able to find us. Certainly, kind of, there's lots more to come, and also we're looking for suggestions from people. What do people need for self-care? If there's specific needs people have, any concerns, or if you've got any friends or family that you think may benefit, reach out to us. We want to share as much as possible.
And then one last thing, if there was one tip you could give to a new parent, father or mother, whichever, what would it be?
So to a new parent, well, I've got two, so I may not be an expert, but the tip I would give always is don't sweat the small stuff. There's loads going on. It's everyone knows how difficult it is, but you'll get through it together. So I'd say give each other permission to be in a safe space, and definitely don't make a big deal whether it's they forgot to change the nappy or they forgot to get that milk bottle or whatever it is. Just be kind to each other, and you'll just be just fine. I think that's what I'd give.
Sounds good to me. Mr. B, have you anything else to add?
No, thank you very much, Pankaj, for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on with us today. If you just want to finally, before you do go, just spell out the website so everyone can catch the right spelling and be able to get themselves to it, and the Instagram as well. Please, if you could.
Yeah, so it's the Happiness Apothecary Company.co.uk.
Perfect. And we'll be sharing a link of it. If you want to share, if you're after this, if you also want to share a link on the comments page as well, so people can go and visit it. A link to the Instagram page as well, so people can go and like and share. They can reach out to you for any advice they need.
Yeah, no, thank you both for having me on the show, and thanks for everyone who tuned in to support as well. Very much appreciated.
All right, mate. Thanks again for your time, and I'm sure we will speak to you very soon. Maybe have you guys back again in the future. Maybe it be your wife on the show.
Definitely.
And then she can point out where you went wrong.
Like always.
Yep. Well, it wouldn't be life without being pointed in the wrong direction or the right one every now and again. But as I say, thank you very much for joining us this week. It's been a pleasure to share this time with you. Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you.
Take care.
Mr. B, we've got a short time remaining. I've got 3 real questions for you.
Go on then, son. Let's hear it.
First of all, I want to know the highlight or the milestone of the week.
Highlight of the week. What's little man been doing this week? That's a good one. I can't remember where were we last week. So he's just mastering more. So he's obviously walking with his walker has been the one for the last few weeks. He's now able to kind of stand for quite, I'd say, a good 10-15 seconds with no support. Oh, roly-poly. Yeah, he's been trying to do roly-polies, right? So I give him the little helping hand to get him over, but he's been doing sideways ones, just keep him rolling around. But he's also, the other day, it was quite funny because we were just standing there. He was holding onto the sofa. He took a step back, let go, and then he took a jump like he was diving into a pool. Yeah. I'm like, where are you going? You're going onto the carpet, and he just dived, and then just started crawling and just went for it. And I was like, whoa, he's getting that stability now within his legs. So I think the running and the walking is very, very soon to come. Where we at with Jaden?
So last week within this last week, we've been trying different foods with him. We're starting to see things that he likes, what he doesn't like. Really doesn't like apple and pear as a combo for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
bit weird. We found that we gave him banana porridge, and that upset his stomach for a good half a day. So we've stopped giving him banana porridge. We've gone back to like the more fruits and pureed fruits kind of thing.
Okay.
But and even like veggies, to be fair, like Ella's Kitchen. The Ella's Kitchen range seems to be doing really well with him. The Heinz range seems to be hitting well in terms of the fruits, like the apple and blueberry. Absolutely loves that stuff.
Yeah.
Today he had sweet potato, pumpkin, and sweet corn, and
Mm.
it's really cute because when you start giving them food, like the ones that they don't like, they're just like, I'm not interested.
Oh, mate, don't
And the ones that
even.
they
Yeah.
like is like you can't get the spoon back in his mouth quick enough,
Yeah.
or there'll be like a
No, so Kalen will slam the table like feed me more, like literally bang bang bang
really.
each time if he wants it. If he doesn't like it, and he's learned this thing now, and I don't know whether there's all these kids are doing it out there or whether it's just him, right? If he doesn't want something,
Yep.
he will not open his mouth and he will turn away. But if he picks something up where he wants to eat, so he will pick up a biscuit or something, he will go to eat it. At the same time, if you try and feed him, he will know that not to open his mouth for what you're giving him, open his mouth for what he wants, take a bite and look away because he knows you're going to come at him with a spoon for something else. And I was like, that is super smart.
See,
Like,
at the moment we can still use that trick.
we thought we could. And I'm like, how do you know that I'm coming at you with something else? Like, how do you know? I could be
Nah,
giving you
he's
the same
outside
thing.
already.
And I'm like, mate, you're too smart, man. I can't do it. And you try and you're like, come on, Caden, let's try this. All right, let's put some nursery rhymes on. Let's do this. All right, here's some more cutlery for you to play with. Here, you could do this now. And he's quite self-sufficient. He wants to eat on his own. So if I leave the food in front of him, he'll eat. Like you put a bowl of fruit in front of him, he'll finish the bowl himself. Like he won't need you to feed him at all.
Does he take long to eat though, or like do you have to keep pushing him to eat, or will he just crack on?
It depends. Honestly, depends on how he's feeding the food. Like if he wants it, then he'll say, "Keep feeding me." Um,
Yep.
like we've brought a spoon and everything for him to like pick up the food himself, but he prefers like eating with his hands. So if it's a bowl of fruit, leave him to his own devices and he will eat that fruit on his own, whole bowl, no problems, won't even like make a sound. But if I'm
Yep.
trying to feed him something else, bit of rice here or a bit of like food here or whatever it is, he'll just look away and be like, after a few spoons, he'll be like, nope, had enough, thank you very much, see you later, on to the next one. Okay, brought out the fruit. Yeah, he honestly he will eat any fruit. He loves them all.
Yeah, that's
Fruit
good.
is like
Does
yeah, which
he
is
bleed prunes?
we haven't got that. We haven't got there yet. No, we haven't got there
Have you
yet.
not? Have you not found
No,
that prune juice can sometimes help as a like digestion aid?
I don't need that. He's all right. He's quite good like
He's
that.
all right like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
lucky
quite
you,
good like
man.
that. He's good, man. He's good like that. He's like I
Right.
know when I
So
need
we
to.
got told like prune juice will help his digestive system and release like stuck mess.
Yeah, yeah.
So rather than leaving him constipated,
Gripe water also good
we
shout.
use grout. So as I say, the other day, like we had this half day where his stomach was messed up. He was constipated. He just wasn't having any of it. Right. We tried the gripe water. We tried putting hing on his tummy. All sorts of things, right? And then someone, I think it was my buddy, she was like, go and get some prune, like Ella's Kitchen prune stuff, and give that to him. Hopefully that'll help like ease his digestion system. The first couple of times we gave it to him, he was like, bruv, I'm not having that. Like, I'm not having that. He just turned his head, looked the other way, start tearing up. And then like 2 nights ago, like they gave it to him again. And bruv, it's like something just happened. At first, he was like, nope, not having it, not having it. 10 seconds later, yeah, he's like, bro, give me more. Give me more. He
But
literally
that's the
finished.
thing that
He finished the
I
whole pouch.
realize this. I'm like sometimes he's saying no, and then he doesn't like no. So he will have it like I'll literally put it right near his face. Or one of
Yeah.
us will do it so close that he gets a little taste, and then he's like, oh okay, maybe this is quite decent. Let me give it another try. Let me have a bit more, and then he'll get back into it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why not just give it a try and then like knock it back if you don't like it. But another thing
But
that
you know
helps is
what
just
really
rubbing
hurts?
their
Is like
tummy.
they think, yeah, but like when we gave him the banana porridge, he yammed it, yeah, like he was loving it. But obviously his digestive system wasn't mature enough to digest it properly and
Yeah,
gave him issues, right?
yeah,
And when they go through that latter half of crying because they can't stomach the pain and things like that, right? Like I used to suffer from stomach aches like that as a child and things. It really took me back. It brought back flashbacks in my mind of I might not remember so much as a kid, but there's certain things I remember as flashback views. Do you know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah, yeah.
like, and I was like, man, you just have your like heart in your throat. Do you know what I mean?
But
Like you
that's
just
the
want to do
time when you're like,
something
oh, like
calm.
what? At the moment his teeth are quite bad. I think he's got like 8 teeth. I think now that have
Mm.
come out, 6 or 8 now. Can't even. I'm losing count, man. Every day I see a new one just pop out of nowhere. I'm like, where did this come from today? But the pain that he goes through during that, and I'm like, I can't even do anything. There's nothing we can do to help you.
This is it,
Literally.
man. Even you got to grin and bear it, innit?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like last night he woke up, and then prayer went down twice, and then like the third time she was like, "Nah, it's your turn now, and you need to go down." I literally held him for about an hour, right? Because he was just grinding his teeth because of the
Yeah.
pain, right? He just bites his teddy, like he'll go for it because he's like in so much pain. But when you hold him, he's so relaxed, he's so calm. He's like, "Oh, fine, I can
Mm.
go to sleep." And you feel like, "Why am I going to leave you? If I put you
As
down
soon as you
again,
put
you're
him
going to
down, he's
just..."
awake again.
Yeah, and I tried it a couple of times. Then I was like, "Look, I'll just hold you as long as I possibly can." I'm nodding off in the meantime. Like it's like 4 or 5 in the
See,
morning. I'm
like
just
right
nodding
now,
off like
where his
this. Like,
crib is next to us, sometimes Reshma's like, listen, I've had enough. I need you to jump in here and tag out. So what I tend to do is I'll put my head in his crib, like literally right next to his grill. And then he'll be there sitting, pulling my beard, yanking my face, and then he'll fall asleep within about 10 minutes.
oh, so he's falling asleep himself, which is good.
He does fall
That
asleep himself. Like he's got a trick. We've got him this little Paddington Bear like soft toy. In fact, my mother-in-law bought the soft toy. So before Reshma annihilates me on that. Um, anyway, so he tends to sleep with this Paddington soft toy. That is his comfort zone. Without that thing, it's going to be a nightmare to get him to sleep. But what he'll do is he'll fight with a bear. He'll punch it around. He'll throw it around. But when it comes to a certain point, you'll see him start rubbing his eyes, and then the bear will just go over his eyes.
and that's it.
But yeah, bro. Honestly, like yesterday, Redmond was putting him to sleep in my mum and dad's room, or the day before, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be ages." Like the guy is proper, like up and awake. 2 minutes later, I've just walked out the room. Yeah, he's asleep. What do you mean he's asleep? He was like running around 10 minutes ago. So yeah, man, the
Like
bear works.
if you can get him into that from now, you guys are gonna have a very very good ride. Like when you put him in his own room permanently, at least
Mm,
you know he can fall asleep and stay asleep and stuff.
this is it.
We did it cold turkey. We literally
Is it?
one morning moved the crib downstairs, put him in there for
Mm.
one night. In the night time, gone, we're sleeping in there now, and that's it.
Well,
Like that's
last night she put him in the middle room. So obviously we put him in the middle room at around 8 o'clock. He'll have like 3, 4 hours sleep. Then we'll wake him up for his late night feed. And normally he'll come into our room at that point and then just spend the rest of the night in his crib. But last night, and we do it every now and again as well, just to get him used to that room, right? Is after that, like the dream feed, is what we call it, we'll put him back into the cot in his own room.
okay.
And mate, like it does make an absolute difference. Do you know what I mean? But the fact is, if I can get him into that dynamic now, it will make things easier, like down the road. Do you know what I mean?
See, what we found was we were waking him up, so we needed to
Mm,
get him out of our room because we were waking when we will come upstairs. Even if we're the
that's
most
it.
quietest people, we just wake him up. So I'm like, actually, let him be in his own room. If he wakes up, he's waking up of his own accord because he either,
Yeah,
he's in pain, he needs a nappy change, or he needs some food. Like those are the three things that he's waking up for. There's no other reason for him to wake up. Um, at the moment, 99% of the time, it literally is I'm in pain. I just want to be
yeah.
held. But once that stage is gone, he's going to be used to his room, and he'll be in a position, hopefully, sleep through the night, no problems, and we wake up in the morning and we're all happy days at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. But it will all come with time. But yeah, let's see. Like we've got a nice, listen, man, we've got a nice couple of weeks left now until everything opens up. So I think
Hmm.
he's getting ready to go back to swimming as well, which would be a good shout. So I think that would be good for him. So get all these classes back for them now, which would be good. and then we need to
Saying that,
get into
actually, like
nursery.
Reshma signed up Jaden for sensory classes finally as well. Now we managed to get an
Oh, sick.
allocation, so soon we'll be able to converse and talk about that. But
Yeah,
as I said, I had
sensory's
another
done
couple of
now.
questions for you.
All right, go on.
What is something that you collected, with like toy or whatever it might be, as a child?
That I collected as a child.
Yeah, as a child, like toys or like something that you were fond of that you collected.
But as in like that I still have till this day.
You don't necessarily
And
need
what?
to have the toy to this day.
Oh,
No,
okay. So what age group are we talking about though? I went
feel
through
free.
phases, man.
I'm unrestricted, bro.
Oh, I went through phases in life. Yeah. So like obviously
What's the one thing that stuck from the younger stage?
cars,
Yep,
cars.
yep,
I've got
yep.
endless amount of cars, like
You
boxed
still
up,
got them.
boxed up. Yeah, yeah, boxed up everything, man. Yeah.
He has
See,
a
my
list of
system.
things. Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind
the
of gathered that,
listening.
Sergio,
Yeah,
because it seems
boss.
like the spoiled child.
Don't even give me that, yeah. But it probably is true. But
Were you the
anyway,
first or the second?
second.
You're the spoiled child.
Yeah, on the favorite one.
Listen, bruv, all of the firstborns are sitting there watching, going, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about."
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, probably. Now you just like open a can of worms for her to get happy and start putting it out. Yep, see, there you go. I guessed it was coming, right? I knew it. Um,
No,
but it
but then
can't.
obviously that leads to my next question. So, in short, the answer was cars. Yeah, is this
Yeah.
something that you're gonna carry on with, Kay?
I've been having this. I've had this discussion, and I've also had this. So like
Yeah.
the question is no, the question that's always been there, right, from my whole family is: are you gonna let your child, right, doesn't matter boy, girl, are you gonna let your kid play with these cars that you've kept in the condition of fully boxed up? And I'm talking
Oh,
like all
right.
these
Okay. So you kept them fully legit, yeah?
oh, they like box. They like mint condition, right? Like 20, 30 year has killed. That's Sanj.
Oh, she
That's Sanj
dropped
because
you
that's a
in,
lie.
bro.
That's also a
She
lie, but
dropped you in.
it's not her. I can assure you that it's Sanj having the time of his life, keyboard warrior, not under his own name, enjoying himself by just putting these things in, right? Um,
I'm gonna need a second opinion on this and make sure that it's not.
bro, you can come and have a look yourself, bro. I'll open the door for you, man. Um, yeah, no, like, yeah. So the question is, would I let him play with these? They always said, "Oh, would you let your kid play with the cars?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, when I get a kid, I'll let him play. I'll let him play." And now I'm like, I don't know, like I've got cars that he can play with, and I'll go buy him other cars for him to play with. But I've kept these in such mint condition. I don't know whether it's actually.
Would you
Should I just?
continue to add to your collection?
Oh yeah, I'd let him add to it. I would let him choose different cars if we go shopping and be like, oh dad, I like that one. Like let's add that up. Like when he's at that age where he'll say, oh actually that will go well. Let's
Are
add
we
that
talking
together and
like
go.
D'Agostini die-cast metal cars, like 1 to
But I
18
think,
scale or whatever it was?
yeah, those ones, yeah, that have been like box, yeah, literally. I could like take pictures and send them to you. Honestly, there's so many
Like
of them.
30, 40
Um,
quid cars back in the day.
yeah. There's quite a few of them. A few that have been like. There's quite a few cars that have that open that you can play with. Loads of those, like remote control cars, stuff like that. All those things, right? Which I'll definitely let him play with and let him throw and do what he wants to do with those. But these were the ones like I was like, yeah. See that's
Yeah,
the
so
thing.
I
Like,
think we all went through that, brand, because those cars
no,
were like,
no, I'm sorry, man. There's some things that I don't mind. Like they can
listen,
give
Bob,
away,
when
like
I was younger, we had a guy at my house, and I'm not going to name any names, but let's just say a child came into my bedroom and he dented and broke 2 out of the 3 model cars that I had there on display. And you can
is,
imagine.
is he a family member?
Yeah.
Have I met him?
Yeah. The family member probably doesn't even remember it.
Oh, fine. Tell me the name later.
Whoever
But
you are, you owe me
honestly,
like 100 quid on those things, boy.
but that's my point. But they can go up in value as well, right? So it's like it's the. So yeah, but yeah. What about you? What did you used to collect?
The same thing, literally.
Oh, that's
That's why I
what.
thought to ask you that
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Because obviously we both got
The,
boys. It's now
oh,
coming to that thing like, we're going to get him toys, we're going to get him this, that, and the other. Obviously, I don't think they're ready for the metal die cast stuff for another like 2 years or so at least, right?
No, but he's also. I'm
Um,
waiting to buy him one of those convertible cars, but you know the ones where you can
what, the
sit
electric
inside
ones?
and ride. Yeah,
Oh,
ride
bro, do you
around.
know what? Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. My cousin rang me last week and said to me, "Listen, I've got one of these electric ride-on things. 2 kids can sit in it,
You didn't
and you
buy
can
it.
have it for free." Yeah,
Oh, so you taking
Uh,
it? Yeah.
bro. I said, I messaged Kev and I said, "Bro, how do you fancy converting one of these to a remote control electric and upgrading the battery?" He was like, "I'm down." Yeah, I was like, "Wicked, this is sorted. It's gonna be a fun little project here." My wife pops up. Where are you gonna store it? He's too young. It's for 3 years and up. He's not even 6 months. Where are we gonna keep it for now? Let it go, man. I was
Rush,
so wounded, bro.
rush.
Honestly.
Disappointed in you. Nah, I'm so disappointed now. I was hoping for this story. I was hoping to be a part of this whole
Do
video.
you know who's
We
going
could
to
have
be more
seen this.
disappointed? Kev is going to be more disappointed that he doesn't have this little toy to play with.
Nah, I'm annoyed. I'm so annoyed. She speaks terrifying. Rush, I can't believe you did that to me. Like, why? Why would you do that? Like, the video content that could have come out of this would have been so
Do
good
you
to
know
see
what?
how
Said
they
was
do it
right.
wrong.
Why did I ask her? But I didn't ask her. She was there, and I'm sorry, but I
Nah,
don't know.
nah,
We'll
I'm
have
not.
we'll
I'm
have to
not.
see what happens. Watch this space. Barv, have
I'm
you got
not having
space
it,
in your
Rush.
garage?
But bring it over. No problems whatsoever. I'll make space for stuff like that.
Oh my days, it's on.
I'll
It's
make.
on.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said I've done that too many times with too many different things. It's no longer a surprise. It's just expected.
Bro,
So
you can leave it in your garden. There's sufficient space to leave it there. It won't even get damaged. Put a little cover over it. Done. I'll send you a cover from Amazon to your house. I'll send it tomorrow. It'll be there for you.
see, that's why.
But
That,
bro,
that one comment right there, right there.
she's on like the public domain right now, worldwide. You're out here with it, yeah. You're just making these kind of friends. What is wrong with you, woman? Delete that.
Listen, this is a woman that watches murder mystery documentaries every
Yeah, bro.
night. Yeah,
Yeah, these comments are all Sanj. I know they are. I can tell they're all Sanj as well. What's your third question? Go on.
my third question. It's not much of a question. It's more of a statement. We overran by 15 minutes today, and so we're going to need to wrap up quick. It's
Yeah, we
Dan's
do.
birthday,
We do.
so I
We
need to go
do.
downstairs. But on that note, I would say this has been a thoroughly enjoyable show. The hour and 15 has just gone so quick. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I know that we have. Have you anything else to add, Mr. B?
No, just like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you all next week.
All right. My favorite threat to make is that I'm going to chop up his body. Well done. That's why I don't keep the car in the garden. And on that note, thank you all for watching. It's been an
Good
absolute
night.
pleasure. From HinduDad, Barv, and Jay, we will see you guys next week. Good night.